Here's something that should bother you. There's a powder that strips yellow collar stains, sweat residue, and musty towel smell better than the bleach sitting under your sink right now. It costs about $2 a box. It's been used in laundry for well over 100 years. It doesn't need a scent, a marketing budget, or a shelf life. It just works quietly every wash. And the laundry aisle, stocked with stain pods, scent beads, and bleach sprays costing 10 times as much, never mentions its name once. That's not an accident. That's a business decision. Stick with me. So what is this powder, and why does it cut through stains that bleach can't touch? The answer starts with a mineral called trona, a natural deposit formed over thousands of years in the beds of ancient lakes, with some of the largest deposits sitting in places like Wyoming. Mined, refined, and crystallized, that mineral becomes sodium carbonate. Households called it washing soda for generations, long before a single stain spray or laundry pod existed. It isn't a detergent, it isn't a bleach, it's something simpler and in some ways more powerful, a highly alkaline salt that changes the basic chemistry of the water it touches. Before modern laundry products existed, this was the laundry product. People boiled work shirts and bed sheets in washing soda solutions, soaked grimy socks overnight in it, added it to wash water to soften it long before liquid softener existed, and used it as the backbone of homemade soap for at least 2 centuries. None of that required a brand name, a jingle, or a shelf display. It just required the same chemistry working the same way it always had, decade after decade, in households that had never heard the words stain pod. Here's why that chemistry matters. Body oils, sweat, and deodorant residue are mildly acidic and fatty by nature. Plain water, and even most detergents, struggle to fully break that fat down, so a thin, invisible layer builds up in fabric fibers, wash after wash. That buildup is what eventually oxidizes into the yellow tint you see on collars and underarms, and the gray dullness you see on old white shirts. Washing soda raises the pH of the wash water dramatically. At that elevated pH, fatty residues break apart and convert into something water can actually carry away. The same basic chemistry behind old-fashioned lye soap. The grime doesn't get masked or brightened. It gets dissolved and rinsed out entirely. Bleach works in a completely different way, and that difference is the whole story. Bleach oxidizes pigment. It attacks color, not buildup. It can make a yellow stain look whiter for a wash or two without ever removing the oily residue underneath that caused the yellowing in the first place. So the residue stays, the fabric keeps trapping more of it, and the stain creeps back, often worse. Washing soda does the opposite. It doesn't touch pigment directly at all. It removes the fatty buildup the pigment is clinging to. One product treats a symptom. The other removes the actual cause sitting underneath it. That single distinction explains almost everything people misunderstand about stubborn laundry stains and why the same shirt can come out of a bleach cycle looking momentarily whiter, only to look just as dingy again within a wash or two. And it also explains the dull gray detergent film that builds up on towels in hard water homes, since that film is largely mineral and oil residue washing soda is specifically built to strip away. Cleaning researchers cited in household chemistry reviews have pointed to that exact mechanism to explain why pre-detergent generations soaked grimy work shirts and graying towels in washing soda solutions and got them genuinely white again, not just brighter under store lighting. The list of what it handles reads like a roster of the exact laundry complaints modern products still struggle with. Yellowed collars, underarm staining, musty towels that never quite stop smelling no matter how often they're washed, graying socks, dingy whites that detergent alone can't restore, and the dull mineral film hard water leaves on every single load. A single box costing a few dollars addresses every item on that list through the same basic chemistry. So here's the obvious question. If a few dollars of mineral powder solves stains this consistently, why isn't it printed on a single bottle of stain spray? Why does the average household spend far more every year on scent beads, stain pods, and bleach-based sprays that, by design, need repurchasing every few weeks, when one box of this sits in a cabinet working for months? You already sense the answer. A box of washing soda lasts for dozens of loads and doesn't need replacing until it's actually empty, which for most households takes the better part of a year, often longer. A subscription-style stain spray, scent bead, or laundry pod system needs replacing constantly, by design, every few weeks, every month, forever, at a price per load that's frequently 5 to 10 times higher. One of these is a purchase. The other is a relationship the company gets to renew on its own schedule, indefinitely, with no end date built in. The modern laundry aisle isn't built around what removes stains most effectively. It's built around what gets repurchased most often. A solution that lasts a year is not a profitable customer. A box that empties slowly generates one sale annually, maybe two. A pod system that runs out every few weeks generates a dozen sales or more from the exact same household for the exact same basket of laundry problems. That's not a coincidence in shelf design. That's simply the entire business model standing in plain sight on every aisle, in every store, every single week. Here's exactly how to use it, and the small mistakes that quietly stop it from working. First, know what you're buying. Washing soda is sodium carbonate, not baking soda, which is sodium bicarbonate, a much milder, less alkaline cousin. The two sit near each other in some stores and get confused constantly, and using baking soda by mistake will quietly disappoint you, since it simply isn't strong enough to do the same job. Washing soda is usually shelved in the laundry aisle next to borax, sometimes under a brand name, sometimes sold plainly as soda ash. Dosing is simple. For a normal load, add about half a cup directly into the wash drum along with your usual detergent before adding clothes, so it dissolves into the water rather than sitting on fabric. Warmer water speeds up how quickly it dissolves and reacts with oily residue, while cold water slows the whole process down considerably. So for genuinely greasy or yellowed loads, the warmest setting your fabric allows makes a real difference. For genuinely dingy or yellowed loads, that half cup works as a booster, not a replacement. You're not swapping out detergent. You're giving it help with the buildup it can't fully remove on its own. For yellowed collars and underarm staining specifically, mix a small amount of washing soda with a little warm water until it forms a thin paste. Work it directly into the stained area and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes before washing as usual. This targets the exact spot where oil and sweat accumulate most, rather than relying on the whole wash cycle to reach it. White sheets and dingy whites benefit from the same approach. A pre-wash soak in hot water and washing soda, followed by a normal cycle. Resist the urge to add vinegar to that same soak. Vinegar is acidic, washing soda is alkaline, and combining them in the same water cancels much of what each one does on its own. Keep them in separate steps if you use both. Work shirts and heavily soiled socks respond well to the old-style overnight soak. Dissolve washing soda fully in hot water first, add the items, leave them submerged overnight, then wash normally in the morning. This is the closest modern equivalent to how it was used for generations, before machines did most of the work. A few honest limits matter here. Washing soda is too alkaline for wool, silk, and other delicate protein fibers, and can damage, weaken, or yellow them over time. So check care labels before soaking anything beyond sturdy cotton, linen, or synthetic blends. And because it's a fairly caustic powder in concentrated form, gloves are worth wearing during soaking and mixing. It shouldn't be combined with ammonia-based cleaners, and it should be kept away from aluminum cookware or fixtures, since the alkalinity can react with that particular metal over time. Step back far enough, and the bigger picture is hard to miss. This mineral spent thousands of years compressing in ancient lake beds before anyone mined it, refined it, or sold it in a box. and it has been quietly doing the same chemical job in laundry for well over 100 years. Through every generation of detergent, every new bottle, every redesigned aisle, every fresh marketing campaign promising a stronger formula. It was recognized as a basic, reliable household cleaning agent in country after country long before any of those campaigns existed, and that recognition never needed a single advertisement to hold up. None of that required a slogan. It still works exactly the same way it did before any of those products existed, which is the part worth sitting with. The chemistry never needed marketing. It just needed someone somewhere to keep buying something else instead, year after year, load after load. If this saved you from another year of pods, sprays, and scent beads you didn't actually need, pass it along to someone still buying all three out of habit. They're paying 10 times more, month after month, to solve a problem a $4 box already solved a century ago. And they almost certainly have no idea that box is sitting 2 aisles over from everything they already buy.